Let's move you over. Hey, Sherry, one person's enough. So here we are. I just wanted to wait for one person. Hello, hello. How you doing, Sherry? I just felt funny like sitting here in a room by myself. So nice to see you. So come up with some questions, Sherry. It doesn't matter to me if there's just one of you. It's perfectly great. What I was planning to do was starting to read chapter 14 by Neville Goddard. It's called The Power of Awareness. The chapter is called The Effortless Way. So I thought I would just read it for the replay and everything. So I'm going to read it right now, and then we're going to discuss it. Oh, hey, Leslie. Nice to see you. Thanks. There's two people, so it's worth being here. I just waited to turn on because I don't want to be – I get lonely by myself. I'm going to read – I've printed up a copy of the chapter The Effortless Way from chapter 14. It's chapter 14 from Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness. So I'm going to start reading it. All right. So the principle of least action governs everything in physics, from the path of a planet to the path of a pulse of light. Least action is the minimum of energy multiplied by the minimum of time. Therefore, in moving from your present state to the state desired, you must use the minimum energy and take the shortest possible time. Your journey from one state of consciousness to another is a psychological one. So to make the journey, you must employ the psychological equivalent of least action, and the psychological equivalent is mere assumption. The day you fully realize the power of assumption, you discover that it works in complete conformity with this principle. It works by means of attention minus effort. Thus, with least action, through an assumption, you hurry without haste, and you reach your goal without effort. Because creation is finished, what you desire already exists. It is excluded from view because you can see only the contents of your own consciousness. It is the function of an assumption to call back the excluded view and restore full vision. It is not the world, but your assumptions that change. An assumption brings the invisible into sight. It is nothing more nor less than seeing with the eye of God, i.e., imagination. So he quotes from King James saying, "For the Lord seeth not as a man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh at the heart." The heart is the primary organ of sense, hence the first cause of experience. When you look on the heart, you are looking at your assumptions. Assumptions determine your experience. Watch your assumptions with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Assumptions have the power of objective realization. Every event in the visible world is the result of an assumption or idea in the unseen world. The present moment is all important, for it is only in the present moment that our assumptions can be controlled. The future must become the present in your mind if you would wisely operate the law of assumption. The future becomes the present when you imagine that you already are what you will be when your assumption is fulfilled. Be still, least action, and know that you are that which you desire to be. The end of longing should be being. Translate your dream into being. Perpetual construction of future states without the consciousness of already being them, that is, picturing your desire without actually assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, is the fallacy and mirage of mankind. It is simply futile daydreaming. And I wanted to read that because, basically the end goal, the big idea, really, if you guys get this, you need no coaching, you don't need to talk to me, you never need to watch another video, is you are what you think all day long. Every thought you think is a command of the subconscious. So I wanted to point this out. It's so super important to be about your business in the least stressful kind of way, and assume the feeling assume the feeling of the end in mind, like whatever goal you have, get to the feeling place of it. Anyway, I'll stop there. Hi, hello, everybody. I see 4 of you. Woot, woot. I'll take 4. That's great. It's kind of scary when you just start doing these things. You're like, I'm just showing up. Hello, everybody. So, we had a total of max of 7 last week. I used to have 60 over on my other channel for tarot. So anyway, anyone have any questions? Leslie, Sherry, the other 2 of you, feel free to jump in and say, hey, I'm here to answer questions and talk more about this idea. What do you guys think of this idea of the effortless way, that you should get to the end of it, end of the matter, and think about that? Any thoughts? Have you guys any familiar with Neville Goddard at all? Hey, 77, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, I just took a hike in the woods. It's like 96 degrees here, and I did 4 miles in the heat. That's quite a lot. So, yeah. So, hello. So, you guys have any questions? That'd be super great. I can continue chatting away, but I'm here in case you guys have some questions you want answered. Yeah. So, put in the chat if anyone's read Neville Goddard or anything like that. I can talk more about this stuff if you want. Anyone, I can answer the questions. I know sometimes you guys like to hear stuff, but I don't always want to always be talking at you. So I think that it's hey Leslie Ann, it would be wonderful to leap to manifesting instantly. It's speeding up thing. Yes. One of my teachers, Dr. Pillai, he doesn't know about me, but I know about him. He says waiting is a waste of time. And I think it's really true. I think sometimes, Brian Scott does lots of Neville Goddard. So happy to hear more. Oh yeah. I love Brian Scott. I have a premiere coming out tomorrow where I show up some of his art that I bought. So watch that tomorrow. I love Brian Scott. We interviewed him on our other channel way back when. So I think it's like, if you just get this, like it's, hey, Transcending Grammy, nice to see you. How the kids and all the grand people, little grand persons, put it in the chat. I really, if you understood that to get to where you need to be, the how is none of your business. You can simply do what you need to do on a daily basis, do the repetition of affirmations and stuff like that. When you coach with me, I tell you all about it. I'll talk about that 77. What's in the now. Yeah, I'll talk about that from a shamanic perspective and my perspective. So you don't have to worry about the how. Let's say you want to be Secretary of State. Crazy thought, but I work with Martha Beck, and she had a client that wanted to be Secretary of State, and this person actually became Secretary of State or some high level in the Department of State. Dream about what you want, what it is you want. Let's say you want to be Secretary of State. You don't have to worry about the how of getting there. What you do is you do the repetition. You do the repetition of the affirmations. I want to be Secretary of State. You do the work. You do the thing. Okay. Missing them. My arms are empty, but my heart makes it so full. Yeah, I'm going to talk about kids in a minute. They're doing so well. Thanks, Trans, for letting. Thanks, Grammy, letting us know how's it going. So the how though is none of your business. It's like you dream of what you want. You get a picture of it, and then let's say some of my clients want to make $100,000 a month. That's a great goal, right? Maybe you're making 5, maybe you're making 10, maybe you're making 8. What you do is you start to think about how you'd feel after, say, 2 months of bringing in $100,000 each month. What would you do with the money? How would you share it? What would you do? What debts would be paid off? Where would you be going? Would you be going on vacation? That feeling place of the really good, oh man, I made what I want. This is super great. You get to that feeling place, and if you're in that feeling place, like every 3 hours during the day, or we can talk about some tips and techniques in a minute about how to do that, or you write it out in the morning, or you do some auto suggestion in the mirror, with that feeling place. And then you have inspired action over here. You're like, oh, maybe I should apply to get a GS position. Maybe I should go to school for, I know Georgetown University used to have a school for like diplomats and so, or whatever, some sort of schooling for that, whatever. But you do the dailies of what you think you should be doing or what you're inspired to do, and have that dream, and God, the source, the universe, whatever you pray to or whomever you talk to, get you from here to there somehow. And you'll just have inspired action on the way. If you are, in high school, it may take 20 years, right? If you're 25 years old, it might take 10 years, but you could get there. The how is not your challenge. Let's say, oh, hello, everybody. The questions are coming in. But I think, Leslie, to finish your question, I haven't answered it super well, I guess, but I think when you first start to manifest, things have a time lag, and they have a time lag because you think it's hard, right? Manifesting someone buying you a cup of coffee is easy because you don't really care. You could get yourself a cup of coffee yourself if you want to make it at home, and it's not a big deal. You're not that attached to it. But getting the guy, getting the girl, getting the job, getting the raise at work, that we are more attached to. So we put more weight on it, and then we think it's harder. So it becomes harder. But there are ways, I think, as you get more practice at it, to manifest more instantly, right? There often is a time lag, but I think you can move toward manifesting instantly. Yeah. So 77X is saying, there's the only now thing. Yeah. It's so interesting. How I say it is the shamans taught us that you only have the now. The only way you can affect change is in the now, right? You can change the past. You actually can do revision history. I did a thing on that where you can rewrite history if it suits you, but you can't affect the past really, right? That she left you, that you're betrayed, that this happened, that you did this really good thing. You can't change the past, and it's hard to affect the future immediately. You can affect the future by changing your now. There's this now. You, me, those of us on this call, we're the only ones that are here. Oh, hey, Australia. Yes. Yeah. Yep. So you only have the now to affect. That's it. And you do craft your future by changing your now, by what you say you're now. Remember, how are you thinking? What thoughts are you thinking all day long? What thoughts are you thinking all day long? You think, oh, I can't do that. That sucks. I'll never have the money. Those are like commands of the subconscious. Your subconscious is saying, oh, he, she, I guess they don't want to have that. If you plan to have something in the future, or you're asking for something or think you can't have it, your subconscious is saying, well, she doesn't want to have it. So she's not going to have it. Right. So the best thing you could do is only say positive things to yourself, and only talk about yourself kindly and talk about others kindly when you can manage it. So the now is the only thing you can affect, although there's some cheat codes to that, which is you can affect your past by doing some revision history, and you affect your future by working in the now. You can't be in the future yet, but you can be in the future. I'm going to there's something called a sun moon meditation. I learned from my yoga philosophy people. There's a sun moon meditation where you can actually instant time. You can move the moon into the sun. I'm going to do a meditation for you guys in the next week or two on my channel, where you can actually make time more instant for yourself. It's fun. It works. And you can do the quantum jumping meditation too on my channel. Go to the quantum jumping. That can actually change what you want. Super, super. All right. So, the now. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Missing them. Mm-hmm. Liz, how would you help us to connect the four bodies? Yeah. How would you help us? Yeah, that's a great question. You could do that in lots of fun ways. So I've talked about this a lot, but not quite this way. Transcending Grammy. I talk about filling yourself with golden light. When I did a video on running. I don't know if it came out yet. I did on, I think it came out today on grounding and running energy and filling up your field. That affects all the energy bodies. It affects all the energy bodies. So you could do something like that. I talk about filling yourself with golden light. I think I've done a meditation where you fill your brain and head with golden light and push it out. I'm going to do some videos on remote influencing, remote viewing, and remote influencing, viewing, and remote checking things, remote traveling and stuff like that. But you use that golden body. If you do those kind of meditations, you are affecting all those bodies. But if you like to work with those four specifically, transcending Grammy, I would actually do something like, you could actually sit in meditation, fill yourself with a golden body, and you could say, this is for my body. Say something you could guide yourself, like, this is for my body. This is from my subtle body. We call those energy bodies so many different things. You're calling them right now spiritual, mental, physical, and soul. Some people call it etheric, the causal, the subtle body. I mean, there's so many different like soul anatomies out there. I used to follow Barbara Brennan's work, but I forget. I just know there's different layers. I kind of consider there's a sexual body and a mental body, an emotional body, and there's a causal body. But there's so many different like grammars for that. So, but you can say, if you want to use those for transcending, I would say, and then this energy is this is healing my spiritual body, this is healing my mental body, this is healing my physical body. So you can actually address those, and this is healing my soul. You could do the golden light, stuff like that. The other way you could do that is doing a chakra meditation. I'm going to do one of those too. I have to make a note. So the shamans taught us a great way to do a chakra energy. I'm sure you're all familiar with chakras, but you can do a chakra meditation exercise for yourself, where you start out with the red chakra of the root chakra. You start with the red, then you go to orange, go to yellow. But what you do in a state of meditation, in an alpha state or whatever, you can actually sit there and imagine the beautiful red first root chakra ball, red. Make it that beautiful, beautiful, the best red you could make it. And then when you're ready, and it's often we have it circle clockwise this way, but whatever way feels right to you, you can get that beautiful red aura, that beautiful red chakra ball right down here. And then what you do is you push it out to your field. You make it beautifully red. Now, as shamans, we have Aini Karpai, which are like basically power animals installed in our, and then we would actually, in my case, I would take serpent and have serpent fill my field. But red is perfectly fine. Make it fill your field with red. Then you'd go up to the orange one, and then make the second chakra that beautiful orange, and then you'd expand that out to the field. Go to yellow, the Manipura chakra, fill it out to the field, and go on. And you could heal all those four bodies that way. Transcending Grammy. This is getting very metaphysical. I love it. Coaching's great, but I love all the metaphysical stuff too. I just arrived at my sister's pool, so I'll have to. Oh yeah, okay, Leslie. Thanks for stopping in. How would you stop something that is constantly in your mind that you do not want to manifest? Oh yeah, that's a great question. That is the challenge of coaching. And that's why when you coach with me and you coach with a coach, we begin to dissolve the ill-serving parts of the paradigm, ill-serving parts of your subconscious. So you do that lots of ways. I just did a video on the elimination list. So one thing you do is get a piece of paper and write down all the things you're thinking, like, I can't stand her, this thing, a thing, the blood, they didn't buy me a cup of coffee, he left me, I have no money, whatever it is, cancel, cancel, cancel. And then you can actually, when you're ready, sit down with a cup of tea or something like that and line it out. Just go, I never got that cup of coffee. You just cross it out. And then you turn over the page and you write, someone's always getting me a cup of coffee, right? You just turn it around. I made a silly example there, but you can take all the things on that elimination list, turn it around and make a new statement. And then when you catch yourself, it takes practice, 77. It takes so much practice. Every time you think, they didn't give me that cup of coffee, you go, I always get a cup of coffee. You say something like cancel, cancel. I just snap my fingers because it's fun. You just say cancel, 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 clear, delete. Or you say scratch that, subconscious. We're not taking that in. Nope. Renew. And sometimes I tell the paradigm, I say, shut the hell up, paradigm. That's what I call the subconscious, all that programming in the subconscious. I call it, and my mentor calls it the paradigm, because it's your paradigm. You've grown up that way. It's your belief systems, it's your patterns, your habits, and your habits control most of you. So you can do the elimination list. I have a video. You can go watch that. You can also just you catch it. You begin to catch it, and what you do is you might forget it, and you might think something bad that you don't want to be thinking, and then you remember an hour later, like, oh yeah, I didn't want to think that. You turn it around. Then you go, stop that. And then you turn it around to something exactly the opposite. If you've written them out on paper, that's good, or you can make it up on the fly. But I promise you, if you keep practicing that, eventually you get closer and closer and closer to the thought where you're like, oh my gosh, you're living in bliss. And you're like, oh, I had a negative thought. That's interesting. Yeah, no, I'm going to have a positive thought over here. But it'll get closer and closer as you do the practice. The subconscious loves and requires lots and lots of repetition. Repetition, crafting your life and manifesting is like basically coaching yourself and taking care of yourself is like every day for the rest of your life. It's every day. So you might, 77 might do this kind of thing for 21 days or 2 weeks or a month before you begin to catch yourself. But you just keep at it. You keep at it. The subconscious has this whole belief of thoughts. If we're 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, it's been thinking all these thoughts over here, right? And then when you introduce a nice new thought, it's like, why do I want to think that? We've been doing fine over here. So you need a lot of repetition and a lot of reminders to kind of where the subconscious starts to go, oh, maybe I'll take on that idea, right? Because every thought you think is a command to the subconscious. So 77, just keep at it. You could stop and just say, cancel, stop, catch it when you remember. I did this last week, but I'll ask again, like for you guys, if you like, you don't have to promise this to me, but would you be willing to promise to yourself to never say anything bad about yourself ever again? And if you do, because you'll forget, because I forget, you turn it around and go, no, I'm getting better and better every day. You can choose to be more neutral, where you say, if you can't be really pie in the sky, you go, well, I'm getting better and better every day. Every day is getting a little better. Or like, honestly, like you can just say, I'm amazing and wonderful. That's not true. I'm amazing and wonderful. But turn it around quickly when you catch it. Okay. So I hope that helps. 77, you can totally. We'll check it out, because I know our physical is changing and our mental is trying to catch up. Yes. So there's a lot of things you can do transcending grammar. You can just simply intend that everything's integrated. And as you do your own, I know we've worked on some manifesting work together before, but if you do your reps, do your repetitions, you're going to change all those bodies. Supposedly, we're getting 12 strands of DNA at some point. All of this kind of work does all of that. Like, I liked your question. I try to answer it, but I don't think you need to pay attention to all those, like, well, what about my mental body? If you do this work, it all does change beautifully. One thing I'm trying to do, guys, is not to say I'm in pain, right? And say, yeah, I'm experiencing it. Okay. Transcending grammar, that's fine. I hadn't thought about that before. I'm experiencing pain. Yeah, right. Because I would just simply say, when I'm in pain, I say, that's interesting. That's going to change. Let's say a couple of weeks ago, I was having some shoulder achy from trying to do headstands in yoga. And I was like, well, this is interesting. I didn't even label it. I didn't give myself a diagnosis. I wouldn't even say the word pain. I would say, well, this is interesting. This is getting better and better every day. And I would just send my shoulder love and say, ooh, I'm so glad you're feeling better. And the cells are getting so happy, right? And growing happier and happier. So I wouldn't even use the word pain, but follow Transcending Grammy's thought if you want to. I don't try to mess with people's diagnoses. I understand it's challenging, and I'm not a medical doctor. I don't give financial advice, anything like that. It's just go get the medical care you need. But I try to personally avoid naming diagnoses, and I don't even name them. If I have a diagnosis, I just get better and better, and I try to stay out of the doctor's office. Right. Yeah. Talk to yourself like a good friend. Exactly. Like that's one way to talk about, like, would you talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself? Right. If you would, maybe you need to fix that. But, would you talk to your best friend? Would you talk to your best buddy, your lover that way? Perhaps, but, talk to yourself like you would talk to your bestie. I like that, Transcending Grammy. Yeah. So that's super interesting. So I don't know. I just thought I would come on here for a few minutes. Do you guys have any other questions? I can stay as long as we like. Um, and there's 3 of you here. That's awesome. I love it though. It's cool. Like, this is how we get started, right? Um, so what do you guys think about your present moment? Is there anything that you'd like to begin to change? And we can talk about, okay, how do you stop something that's constantly in your mind that, yeah, let's say that we already have that already. Yeah. So, I mean, is there anything you're working on specifically that we can talk about? Like, I can help you with some affirmations. We can do some more new affirmations and stuff like that. Wish we could interact live. We need thousands of peeps here. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I was thinking about this. What do you guys think? I can actually set up a Zoom call if people would like to actually get on a Zoom call. We can, if we trust each other, we can see each other's faces, and it would actually be more safe and private. I know it's the opposite of what you say, but actually, I'm here to tell you that even if you just have 2 people here, if you have 2 people, it's the world. It's the world. Like, this is free coaching. 2 people can change the world. 1 person can change the world. What I don't like is to be in a room by myself. I get shy, like, okay, here I am there. It's so interesting to start something new like this, but you just got to do it. So I see 2 of you here. Would you like me to come up with affirmations for you? Anything you're working on? Anything? Well done. Yeah. So Transcending Grandma is saying, I need to stay positive now, getting home from kids, not sure what to focus on. Okay. Yeah. So I know you've been doing lots of things. Bring on RV. Right. Yeah, that's right. Need to stay positive now, getting home. So why aren't you positive? What would you like to do? What would you like to do, Transcending Grandma? What would you like to do? What's on your mind? Yeah. Let's see. What would you like to do? What would be fun for you? 77. How is it waiting for RV? Bring on RV. Are you get healthier? There you go. Okay. Let's talk about getting healthier. So I assume that you've been doing some things in the physical to get healthy, right? I'm full of joy. Should I focus on my music, a podcast? Oh, I got you. Yeah. Okay. Let me finish Transcending Grammy at 77. I'll get back to you for a second here. Yeah. Oh, you're full of joy. Need to stay positive. Right. Should I focus on my music, a podcast? Okay. So here's the thing you can do. I'm going to give you, in a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best and 1 being the most terrible, I'm going to name these things for you, and a number is going to come to mind, and that's going to be your answer. Of course, do what you want. You could work a little music, do a podcast. I would love to hear your podcast. What you can do is, okay, I'm going to say music quickly, 1 to 10. What's the score? What's the score? You don't have to tell me. What is it? That's the first, before you start thinking. Is it 8? Is it 6? Give yourself a score for music. Quick. Before you get to think about it. Okay, 7. All right, now give me a quick for podcast. Start a podcast. Quick, what's the score? Don't think about it, because then your logical mind gets in the way. Right. So I'm 77. I'm going to address your question in a minute. Okay, 5. So that's a quick little technique. You can actually go do the music first and then work on the podcast. It's fun to do the music. Right. And then if you have time, for sure, work on the other things, or email me and say hi. So that's a quick little technique you can use to figure out what you want to do. If you know about muscle testing or pendulum work, you could do that too. All right. So 77. Let's talk about this. Trying to get rid of some bad habits. Cool. Trying to get rid of some bad habits. Okay. This is where it's kind of like you have to be onto yourself, right? It's very challenging. So here's how I have done it. I'll be so honest with you. I have been avoidant since I turned 60 about exercise. This whole new desire to be sedentary hit. I wasn't expecting it. I've been working out since I was 12. I never thought I would get to this point where my body just wanted to be on the couch and drink wine and eat ice cream. Seriously, it's crazy. So I had to battle that. The other thing is sometimes I'm avoidant about money management. I have plenty of money, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to like get in my bank accounts and see all the digits. It kind of freaks me out. I remember, the days we had, passbook accounts, and like, oh, I have $82 on my account, not like the big thing on the computer screen. It just freaks me out. So I had to take the bull by the horns. So what I would do is, oh, hey, D Jimmy. Hey, Loveless. Oh, you miss me? I'm going to throw some cards for you guys. So yeah, so D Jimmy, if you're still here, I'm going to send some cards for you guys because you guys, I know, sorry. I love you guys. I just really rather work here. This is where my heart is. Like, gets scored. Hey, D Jimmy. So, all right. So here's what I started to do. I actually began to write out every day. So I have a whole thing of sauce that I give to people when you coach with me. But here's what I'll tell you to do. Begin to write down the habits. So let's say I'm just going to say you drink too much wine. So let's say you drink, I don't want to get into your personal stuff, 77, but let's say you drink too much wine. I'm going to make this up. You're going to say, I drink the best things for my body. My body's always telling me the best things to drink. Or you can say something like, I'm healthy no matter what I eat or drink. Make it a positive affirmation around that habit. And you, number one, can write it out every day, a couple times. You can record it, the same affirmation for 2 minutes on your phone. I don't know where my phone's at. That's interesting. On your 2 minutes on your phone, and then play it a couple times a day, at least 3 times a day, morning, midday, and nighttime. You can say it in your mirror. Get into the front of the mirror and say, I only eat and drink what's best for my body. I only eat and drink what's best for my body. I only eat and drink what's best for my body. And then you do your best to do the thing, right? And I would just pick one habit at a time. Take the worst one, the one you could pick the easiest because it's nice in general. You could pick the ones the worst for your health. You get to choose. You can use that technique I told you about. In your mind's eye, quick, what's the score? Drinking too much wine, eating too much food, staying on the couch, whatever it is you're doing, right? No judgment here, by the way. I've struggled with all of it. But I'm telling you, this year, it took me 5 months to be happy about working out. Every day, I wrote it every day. So you do those reps, you do the repetitions, you do those affirmations, take one habit at a time. I actually did a smoking cessation recording for a client of mine. Maybe I'll make a generic one and I'll put a hypnosis one up. But you can get hypnosis all over YouTube. You can get a hypnosis meditation to give up something. There's a lot of great affirmations out there all over YouTube. Like Your Universe is really good. I love her. I think her name's Jessica. I follow her. Brian Scott, like we mentioned here, Reality Revolution's really good. He puts up something every day, really remarkable. Unseen Seraph. I love her. Her name's Scarlett. Her name's Unseen Seraph. I'll put it in the chat. I love her. I like her because she has a Scottish accent. Unseen Seraph on YouTube. She also has great ideas. I love her as a coach. She only has I have like 200 of you over here, but she's got like 40 something thousand, whereas the others have a lot. Yeah, you want to do a Zoom call? Oh, hi, Linda. Hey, Linda. Hi. Contact me. All right. So what was I talking about? It's so fun to see all of you. Unseen Seraph has some great ideas over there, but what you can do is pick one habit at a time, begin to do the affirmations. Like here's what I'm working on that I do, that I'm healthy and fit. I'm in the best shape of my life, no matter what I do. I have a yoga asana practice I do daily, or I do trail runs. I say, I sleep easily and well and quietly, because some say I snore, and I remember all my dreams. I still don't remember all my dreams. I've been working on that affirmation for years, but I just don't give up. Always hit it every day, and just work those habits. And I will tell you that it doesn't take 21 days to change a habit. It takes 66. It takes 22 days to enter the change. The change in the beginning is hard. Then there's 22 days of the messy in the middle. And then there's 22 days of the glorious at the end. And I will tell you that if we have bad habits, like we didn't get the bad habits in a day. The other thing I teach is try not to do your bad habit more than 2 days in a row. I tell you, I've gone way past 2 days in a row. So let's say I'm supposed to exercise. I don't want to exercise. I'm better now. I'm happy to exercise. I beat that. I beat that beast. It took 5 months every day of like crying before I went to the workout. But I try not to do the bad habit more than 2 days running, because let's say we're 40 pounds overweight, 10 pounds over. We didn't get there in a day. We did 2 days. We did it for 5 days. We did it for a year. Then we did it for 2 years. Then we did it for 5 years. That's how we got in this place. We got in this place because we did it for so long. So try to keep the time short. So I had a royal battle with myself, and I know that I tell clients as you advance, you start off with the paradigm will give you a royal battle. That's your subconscious programming, that self-sabotage stuff we talk about. It gives you royal battle. Then you begin to make changes, you improve, and it gives you royal battle again in different ways. Yeah, still struggling with sleep. Yep. So I still do the same thing. I'm always trying different things. I'm trying things to ease up my breathing. I'm doing melatonin. I don't do drugs. I'm, try to be drug free and debt free if possible, except for my house. I have a mortgage on that, but you know, I'd like to get rid of that too. But I think those habits are really challenging. But if you want to 77, if you want to email me, we could have a quick call over Zoom, like for half an hour, and we could talk. Since you're here with me and you're a mod, love to help you talk about those bad habits. We can come up with the top 3 that you want to work on. Like, again, you could write them on, record the positive affirmations. I could help you turn around some affirmations, right? You could say the positive affirmations in the mirror for 5 minutes, like I said, record them for 2 minutes and write them out, in a paragraph. I have a whole paragraph I write out. Why am I holding up a notebook? Like I got the composition books, like $97 at Wally World. Say, I first write down grateful statements at first in the morning. And then I write down my I am statements, like I am in the best shape of my life. I am happy, healthy, and wealthy. I'm healthy. I'm getting healthier and healthier. I'm getting younger and younger every day, whatever. Right. Eventually I'm going to croak and be old and croak. Maybe not in that order, but we do what we can. Right. And I just write down, and then I write down my whole page of like the kind of coach I want to be and who I am. I'm going to be a published author, blah, blah, blah. So you can start to change all that. But if you want to do that, you don't need to reach out to me. But 77, if you reach out to my Intuitive Consulting, it may not be in the bottom of this, but under all my videos has my email somewhere. You can do that. And so, yeah. So, hey, D, Jimmy. So, So, hey, Lynn, still struggling with sleep. Yeah, cool. We'll start. It's T. Hey, T, grab me. Okay, let's do a reading. Okay, do a reading. There's only a few of you here. That's cool. I'm just getting started, right? Let's do a reading. Okay, this is officially. Go ahead and ask some questions if you want to ask some questions. Ooh, my neighbors are taking a walk. That they never take walks. That's awesome. They're getting some exercise. Speaking of exercise, I'm going to do a blessing reading unless someone has a question. We'll do some readings. I have to go at the top of the hour, but it's early yet. And I'm just this is how you start stuff, guys. You just had to be ballsy and just start a channel. Okay, yeah. So this reading I'm getting for you guys right now is so fun to read cards. It is. It's super fun. I just can't do everything. I don't have enough time. I think some of you in your life, there's some quick changes. There's changes in your lives. Like I have changes and my kids are changing. My kids are all moving. They're all doing really well. They all have really super salaries and they're really healthy. But there's some fast changes happening. Like you just found out maybe the kids are moving. There was a grandbaby born. Maybe someone got a new job. Maybe someone's moving. You're moving. Like there's a lot of fast changes. Yeah, writing things down is very helpful. 77. If you're still here, if you want to, we can write some health affirmations if you want. I am in the best shape of my life is one of them. I'm happy, healthy, and wealthy. Something like that. I'll put an A in there. Stuff like that. But I also see that while you guys are having some wild changes, you guys are sitting there having some fun plans about the future, thinking about what you want, thinking about what you want next in life. Like, do I do music or do I do a podcast? You should do a podcast too, by the way. I'd love to hear your thoughts, right? So there's some planning that you're doing, some thinking like, ooh, maybe some little rays of hope, especially if you can get past all the silly Patriot Truth or News. I had to leave some of that because it just was, I felt like the Patriot Truthers, by the way, were simply reporting intel of what the bad guys wanted to do, but it wasn't intel. It was like the intent of the bad guys. I didn't think like we haven't had EBS yet. We haven't had 10 days of darkness. Biden's not gone. Mr. T is not back. It's just all, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But there's some challenges. Like some of you have felt a little put upon, like you have some ideas, but maybe just feeling a little struggling. There's been some struggling in the present of what to do. And I think also these big changes are causing some things to end your life. What I talk about, it's not a bad thing. What I'm talking about is like, again, when I talk with my clients, I say only A+ relationships. A lot of times as you begin to change and grow, stuff, things, events, people have to leave our lives. You find them leaving your life, whether they might be a big fight. I wouldn't start a big fight, but sometimes people leave you. Sometimes they leave you gently. Sometimes they leave you hard. But there's been some challenges because you feel the energies are changing. There's stuff changing. Right. There's a lot of change happening. And while you're having hopeful things, you're like, well, how do I carry it out? What do I do? Right. And then I think since a lot of you still wondering like, well, how much about the outside world do I have to pay attention? Can you, as I say, can you make your own weather and just create your own desires of what you want? Or, some of you may be concerned about, So much concern about what's going on out there. Like maybe I should save my money because the thing and the thing, if I shouldn't do this or shouldn't do that. Cute. Yeah. Question. The person I think about daily, should I try not to attach the person to my life or? Okay, I'll get to that question. Thank you. So there's some things leaving your life. It could be people, events, things. But I was going to say, whatever you're thinking about, as you're able, begin to do it. And you're going to have opportunities as we get through the rough part of the rough patch of people or events or things leaving our lives. You're going to be able to actually get to work, working your plans, doing the music, doing the podcast, right? Transcending Grammy. You know, it's kind of funny because this Two of Swords came under the Two of Wands. So it's kind of like, you're trying to decide between two things. Maybe you have two fun projects and making the decision is fun, but no need to make it when you're ready. Okay. But the future may involve you making a decision about what you want to do. And it's funny because the bottom line of this Kachina knife spread is really nice. Like after you make the decision, this is really fun to read cards. I do miss it. After you make the decision, you be about the work. You're just going to have so much inspiration, so many good ideas, so many really, really good ideas. So let's see. I'm in my best shape and right. I'm in my best shape and health. Exactly. I'm getting younger every day. I'm getting younger, more beautiful every day. I'm getting healthier and healthier. One way, Emile Coué, when this famous French guy in the 1800s, he was like the father of affirmations. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better and healthier and wealthier and wealthier. It's kind of campy, but it works. Okay. Okay, great, Linda. That's great. Have her reach out. But you should reach out to me too. You should do. Don't worry about it because you don't have to be in the same group, whatever. You don't have to be, I'll make spots for people. The person, okay, is the person I think about daily, should I try not to attract in my life, or is this person meant to come into my life? Okay, we can ask about that. But I'm going to say, if your heart is, I do work with people. If you want to attract a specific person, I do that work. I am single. I date. I have the romantic life I choose at the moment. However, it's like, I find as I start to manifest a specific person, I get bored with it and just say, hey, universe, bring me someone great. Could be that person. I would say it's fine to, we don't need beds. We got Liz. Yes, lesbians. Okay, what was I going to say? It'll come back to me. I'm answering 77's question. Oh, yeah. I could say it's okay to manifest this person. I'm going to read your cards in a minute, but I would always say, if you reach out to me, I can talk to you about that, how to do the specific person stuff. And Unseen Seraph, I mentioned, she does some really great stuff on manifesting. There's a lot of manifesting your SP people out there, but I really like Unseen Seraph. Every Sunday she comes out with like a 6-minute video. All right. So let me ask. Okay, so here's what I'm getting for you. The downloads are coming in. I think this one person, I don't know if you know this person. I don't know if you know this person, but if this person does know you, they really appreciate you. They really do see you as like a great super person. And you are this person. You are the Venus. You are like the nurturing person. You are all that. It's like the Venus goddess kind of thing. She's luxurious. She has wealth. I mean, this is this energy. And if you don't feel like this person, if this person knows you that you're asking about, this person thinks about you that way. And there's some good things here because you have like the 9 of Cups in the present. This is you, the seeker, the querent. This is you. And maybe you can communicate with them, send them some text. They've been texting you. It could be a decent idea. Like these are nice cards for this. Like the King of Swords is suggesting like it could be a good idea. Could be, and this refers to like texting, emails, like mini communication, right? Could refer to a miscommunication depending on how it's aspected, but it's aspected well in this read. So this could be, I would say, if this could be fun for you and you're not attached, like, I think I'm going to get that guy. That'd be kind of fun, or get that person. I don't want to assume. Because 76, I don't even know if you're male or female, by the way. Maybe I used to know, but who cares? Doesn't matter. Male or feminine, masculine energy, this person you're interested in. But see, in the future, we have this happy home card. And we have the victory card. It's nice. And we have being happy with your work. So here's what I'm going to say. If it appeals to you, go ahead and try to manifest this person. Why not? Because the practice will be really good for you. So what I'm getting from the cards, like, it's a fun idea. And if it pleases you and you have joy doing it, by all means, go ahead and do it. It may be this person or someone better for you, but this is fun practice for you. As long as it's fun and you can stay in a good mood and stay detached. So what is manifesting? Manifesting is really wanting something, but being okay without it. wanting something, but being okay without it. So if you can do this with being okay without this person, and you can have fun and just go like, I'm having a little practice thing with a person right now, and I'm practicing this thing on the side, and it's only because it's fun. It's only because it's fun. So 77, I hope that helps. Reach out to me if you like. I feel many of us are, yeah, dumping all, yeah, learning to fire on. It feels great. We can do it together. Yes. I'm in my best shape and healthy self. Yeah. And healthy. Yes. Yes. I like it. 77. We don't need bed. That's right. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So you can, create your own best life. I always say, go get the medical care you need by all means. Go do the financial advice you need. Just a chick throwing cards, as I always said. It's so super fun. So right. Yeah, that's right. So I think if you have fun with it, do by absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we can be done if y'all are done. This is great. Sherry. Oh, hi, Sherry. I'm not familiar, but I do know if you're trying to get somewhere and hit roadblocks, usually not the way you should go. Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple thoughts about that. When I was an Uber Christian, we used to say, like, when God closes a door, he's going to open another one. I think, Sherry, I think there's some ways to think about that. I think when you hit blocks, like, I don't think the best things are easy. Let's say you want to be a beautiful pianist. You want to play the beautiful piano. There's going to be days when the piano dies. It needs to be tuned, or you don't feel like practicing. You don't practice for a while. You can't get that piece right. And you hit roadblocks, but it doesn't mean you give up the piano. Some have said that nothing worth doing is easy. I don't know if that's totally true, but I think you have to use discernment about what you mean by the roadblocks, right? So I think that things are hard, can be challenging, and you have to discern whether is it a roadblock telling you not to do it, or is it just a challenge, right? Is the paradigm just telling you can't do it? I think we need to be careful with that thought, Sherry. That's how I would think. Like, it's I wouldn't let roadblocks stop me. I'll put it that way. If it's just a roadblock, I would just say, I would work my affirmations. I would do my reps. I would ask for, like, what I tell my clients to do is come up with what you want to do the next day for your project. Let's say you want to make $10,000 a month. What you do, go to bed every night. You write down on a list 3 to 6 goal achieving activities of how would I go about making that? Then you get your subconscious at night. You can tell your subconscious, like, hey, self, how would I make $10,000 a month? Give me some ideas. And overnight, the subconscious is working all day for you. And you wake up the next day and you have ideas of how to do it. And you go, well, maybe I'll call so-and-so. Maybe I'll do the thing, and maybe I'll do the other thing, and I'll try that, and I'll call her, and I'll do the thing, and I'll go to the bank, and whatever it is, you'll get inspired. And I think that's a way to work through roadblocks. So I wouldn't let roadblocks stop me if I really want something. I think that can put people off. Obviously, you're going down the road. You can't get through a roadblock. You have to go around. So perhaps what you're saying is to get your goal, you may want to try this way or try this way, and maybe you just have to find a better way. Like, do you want to go over the mountain, around the mountain, through the mountain, right? Another way I'll talk about that, Sherry, is here's what I teach sometimes is when I first start working with coaching clients, I'll say, hey, while you're first you have to get your big goal. You need your big goal first. After you get your big goal, then we begin to dissolve the ill-serving parts of the paradigm of that subconscious mind, which is doing that elimination list I talk about, or catching those thoughts. What do you think about a lot? Begin to turn those thoughts around. Be very diligent in that. You have to catch it. You won't catch it at first, but you'll catch it closer and closer and closer, like we talked about. You begin to dissolve the ill-serving parts of the paradigm. And then you begin to fill it with the good stuff, the good affirmation we talk about. It kind of all happens. It kind of happens a lot. Let me talk about the lottery. Remind me to talk about I'll get to you in a second, D. Jimmy. So we start to dissolve the parts that don't serve you. Then we start to put the stuff in that does serve you, the good affirmations. And then I tell clients, and this talks to you, Sherry, do the daily stuff you already know to do, like do your banking, pay the bill, do the thing. But as you do the work that I give out in my coaching, what happens is you begin to get inspired action. Like when you go to bed at night, you give yourself 3 to 6 goal achieving activities, say your subconscious wake up with new ideas. Like I woke up with an idea the other day, like, oh, don't try to publish your book. Put it as a PDF product, digital product on your website. And it just came to me. The words came to me. I was waking up 2 weeks ago. I'm like, okay, thank you. It was like, so my subconscious was like, don't do it that way. Don't do a Kindle KDP publishing. Don't do that. Do it this way. So these inspirational ideas come to you. So you may find that you're getting those roadblocks by doing thinking that how you're going to get your goal. Remember I said the how is none of your business. So if I want to be I don't want to just lose 10 pounds, but I want to be in the Galaxy Fitness competition, or I want to run a Spartan race, or I want to try to climb K2 or something like that, some big goal. You may realize that you have to do it this way, this way, this way, but the inspired action will have you find just the right trainers, just the right people, just the right equipment. You'll find your way to get the money or the sponsorship to go to K2. So you go through that inspired action that can help you move through roadblocks. I wouldn't let roadblocks stop me. It's just got to figure out another way. But I'm glad you mentioned that because it's worth talking about. All right. How do you win the lottery? So here's the thing about winning the lottery. There are some people on YouTube, I think, Jay Locker, this guy, Locker, Loker. I think Brian Scott had a recent thing on winning the lottery. I didn't listen to it, but when you're going for the lottery, it's interesting because there might be like 14 million other people wanting the same thing. So how do you bypass all that? You can certainly manifest that. I haven't been successful doing that. I've been at gambling casinos and watched people lose a lot of money. I'm not so attracted to that, but how do you win the lottery to help others? That's a good question. I would just, okay. You know what? Joseph Murphy, one of his books, it's not The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, but one of his other works, if I remember it, I'll let you guys know. One of his, he talks about how one guy was gambling at the races. One guy, and this is horse racing, not the lottery, but same idea. And he just the same thing I was saying before. Joseph Murphy told this guy this, he was a bookie. He said, every night you ask your subconscious mind to tell you the winning horse. Every night you ask your subconscious mind to give you the winning horse. And I think he did it for 2 months every night. And then he got the winning horse. It was a 25-1. And he, back in the 60s, it was a couple $100,000. So, or something crazy like that. So I bet if you did the approach, like, this is just an idea. Every night you say, hey, subconscious mind, give me good numbers to the lottery. Subconscious mind, and let me know when this is a good number, right? And go for it. Just every night. I don't know if it was a joke question for your series, but I would do something like that. And I'd go listen to the Brian Scott video. But that hasn't been an interest of mine. So I had to think about it for a minute. I just want to make my own money. They call the lottery like the poor man's retirement method. There's another thing too about, there's nothing wrong with it, but trying to get rich quick, in a way, there's nothing wrong with it, but there's also a way to get rich on your own. Like there's like a law of compensation where you get money from serving the world. Now, you want to get the money to help people, but you get money from serving the world and having the world need what you do and being really good at what you do and having a great loss if you're not doing it. So like there's a law of compensation. You get money and you get compensated by doing good work. So I would say do the good work first and the money will come. But if you want to try the lottery, I would talk to your subconscious mind every night. Say, tell me when to do it. Give me good numbers. Make sense? All right. Also, what we want has to be attainable, such as wanting a yacht. Start with a small boat. Okay, I agree and disagree. There's a couple ways to think about transcending Grammy. That's the Neville Goddard Bridge of Incidents stuff, where sometimes it feels good to people to get. Let's say you want to marry. Name some actor. They're probably all corrupt. But anyway, name some actor. I won't name any actors because I don't like them anymore. But you want to marry some famous person or the love of your life. But you feel scared. It takes too long to just say, I want to be married to so-and-so. What you can do is you can say, this person texts me, and you manifest a text. We're going to go on a date. And you manifest the date, and then you manifest the dinner out, and then you manifest. You can do it that way. It's a bridge of incidents, right? I recommend actually going for the yacht, transcending Grammy, because when you're doing the bridge of incidents stuff, like say, go for the dinghy, right? Then you're kind of telling the universe how you want it done. You're telling source, like, I want to get the yacht, but I want to do it through the dinghy. Like maybe source is just going to give you a yacht. Maybe someone goes, hey, can you watch over this yacht? Can you just rent to own it? $100 a month. I'm tired of this yacht. Like you don't know how the universe is good. I don't think you're thinking big enough. I would say I would go for the yacht. It might take longer. It might not. I would go for the yacht, and you'd be surprised and see what you get. Because when you do the small steps, then you're trying to tell the universe how you want it done. I would go for the yacht. I'm just saying, go for the yacht. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. My biggest desire is to produce uplifting. Oh, yes, that's right. But have roadblocks like lost all my equipment. Can't get any more to read my. Yeah, I won't give up. Okay. You share my wealth with me. I want to help animals. Oh, that's so sweet, D. Jimmy. I would take it, but I would give you something in return. I would coach you or something. So let's see. Yes, transcending Grammy. So I would just go right to like, I make beautiful, uplifting music for people. Bill Gates, I don't like Bill Gates right now, but he is known to have said he wanted everyone to be his customer. So transcending Grammy, here's an affirmation with you. I make beautiful, uplifting electronic music and everybody is my customer. And just say that, and you'll find someone's going to give you equipment, but it might take 5 months. It might take 2 days. It might take a year, but you keep saying beautiful affirmations like, I make beautiful, uplifting music. It's incredibly beautiful. And did I ever get you in touch with a friend of mine? I'm going to try to put you in touch with a friend of mine. Let me make a note. I'll make a note for that for you guys, you transcending Grammy. But I would just aim for what you want, and then you'll find those roadblocks. You'll get around the roadblocks. And it's almost as if the subconscious mind is saying, how badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? And the subconscious mind gives you roadblocks. Also, sometimes I think the universe is like, you've been wishy-washy before, you person. How badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? How badly do you want it? And sometimes you have little roadblocks to see how badly you want something. But if you have that dream, don't give up on it. There's a way. Like I'm telling you, creation is finished. So if you have an idea, who's to say that that idea is not manifesting you? Who's to say that God doesn't have that for you and wanting you that? Like, let's say you want a specific person. Who's to say that God doesn't have that specific person for you? Who's to say that person's not manifesting you? So if you have an idea of the yacht, say, which is a joke, but let's say you have an idea of the yacht's manifesting you, or God has that for you. It's out there for you. You're just not resonating at conscious level enough for that. So go for it. Yep. You don't know what you want exactly. Yeah. You know what? That you bring up a good point. It's really important to know what you want. It is so important to know what you want. You can't, it's hard to go anywhere. I'll tell you, if you don't know what you want, the universe will give you mass consciousness stuff willy-nilly. Like you just get what the world gets. It's mass conscious. Like some good things will float by, some shit will float by, right? It's really important to know what you want. And I always talk about a stretch goal. I used to call it a type C goal, where we ask for something big. Like I told Transcending Grammy, just make the best electronic uplifting music for the world, and everyone's your customer. Do it. So 77, I would say, what did you do when you're 5? How did you play? Or, what does your heart bubble up like? It would be really fun. One of my videos, I used the example of catios. Like, I want to make catios for people's cats. Whatever it is. I want to make muffin tops at the bakery, make muffin tops bakery kind of thing. You could just, what is it bubbles up? What would you do for people? What would you do for others if you didn't have to make money, right? What would you do? What would be fun for you? Would you shoe horses? Would you run a preschool? Would you start an animal shelter? What would you do? Those are some hints. So just really 77, it's important to know what you want to get anywhere. Imagine like if you had set that boat to Hawaii, but you didn't set the coordinates, you would never get there. It's really important. Super, super, super. Yeah, keep visualizing. But yeah, so Transcending Grammy, come up with some really nice affirmations. And 77, if you guys want to email me, I can help you with affirmations. But 77, hit me up. We'll get you a goal. Think about what you want. What synchronicities are out there? What do you dream about? What makes you the most happy? What did you do when you're 5? Stuff like that. It's important. Steinfeld or Seinfeld? What? What's that mean? Seinfeld or you're saying Steinfeld or Seinfeld? Yeah. So, hey, you know what? I was talking to somebody. I forget whom I was listening to. I think it was Dr. Pillai. I follow him. He's he's not my guru, but he's a guru. He's a Babaji. He talks about, he loves all these actors. He studies all these famous people, but he was saying, one of the actors, I forget his name. I think he's the guy that does the water commercials now. I think he was the one in the Titanic. I can't remember his name, but he said, I'm Robert De Niro. I want to be Robert De Niro. I want to be Robert De Niro. I want to be Robert De Niro. I don't know why he'd want that, but he wanted to be Robert De Niro, wanted to be Robert De Niro, and then became a famous actor. So you can go for the gold. That one chick who wanted to marry Tom Cruise, I forget her name. She manifested him. It's like, I want to marry Tom Cruise. I want to marry Tom Cruise. And she did. Hey, whatever, right? Whatever floats your boat, so to speak, talking about boats. But I want to help animals too. Absolutely help animals. D. Jimmy, I would say also, you can get started anyway. Like what I'm saying is, I'm not saying when you think of the big goal, like I want to have the largest animal shelters in the world or whatever. It doesn't mean you don't start till the big thing happens. You get that, like I said earlier, that inspired action to like, well, maybe I'll volunteer in one to see how they run. Maybe I'll go to a dog kennel and see how they run a kennel. Maybe I'll, go start a 501c3 and figure out how to do that. Maybe I'll figure out how to get money to start. Maybe I'll, run a charity. You do the inspired action, but you don't do you do the daily things you think you ought to be doing until you replace that with inspired action stuff. I bet she regretted. Yeah, right. Right. I bet she regretted, like, oh, by the way, I'm a Scientologist. So, I mean, I used to love being in love with him. He's exactly my age. I mean, I was like a teenager watching Risky Business with him. I'm like, but yeah, if you follow the Patriot Truther news, like if you know me over here, some of these people are into some silly things. Yeah. So, but if you guys don't have any other questions, we'll stop and I'll head on out. But feel free to hit me up, and if you want anything. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Transcendent Grammy, you're awesome. I'm going to remind if you think about it, email me and I'll send you a link to a friend of mine who also does electronic music. And maybe you guys can inspire each other. They both are amazing musicians. I know she is one. I'm sure you are. I've heard her music. She's beautiful. But you guys have a beautiful, beautiful night. Thank you for being here, the 3 to 5, 6, 7 of you. Thank you, D. Jimmy. Let me know if you win the lottery and have fun. Have fun with that. Buy someone here a yacht. I love you guys. Bye.